What's up, peoples? I decided to finally fill a big gap in my gaming knowledge. Final Fantasy VII. You see it in the background, I think. Do you see it over there on the TV? Final Fantasy VII. A big, like hyped up, fantastic masterpiece game. I've never played it. And I always thought, okay, I'm not really into that. I'm not really interested in it too much. There were other RPGs I wanted to play more than Final Fantasy VII. And now I thought, let's finally fill that gap. Instead of playing on my PlayStation 1, I decided to simply boot up like the PSN version on my Vita TV. And I think this is going to be the main way I play PS1 games from now on, because I think this looks fantastic. This is running in PSP mode, so the resolution is very low. The advantage of that is, even though it's still very clear and very nice, at least in my opinion, you don't have the big gap between the 3D models and the pre-rendered backgrounds you have in the newer Switch version, for example, where the 3D models are HD, like high resolution, and you still have the muddy background, standard definition images. Some people like that look, like trying to get the most out of it. I like the seamlessness of, well, the original game here. And also I can play with the PS4 controller, which is most likely probably my favorite PlayStation controller. So even though I like the original PS1 controller, I dislike all of the other PlayStation controllers. So being able to play with this is great. No analog support. I didn't know that when I started it. This has no analog support. So you're running around with the D-pad, having to like push X to run around. But yeah, that's how the game works. It took some getting used to, I have to tell you. So this is great. We are in the battle right now. Let's talk about this a little bit. I like the turn-based. Well, it's not turn-based. It's action. What is ATB? Right? Action turn battle. Action turn battle. So you fill up the time bar down there, and then you can attack. So it's not solidly turn-based, but it has a bit of an action component to it. You know what this is. I mean, it's not a new system. The ATB system has been around for a long time, and I enjoy it very much. So you have this weird horror house we are attacking. I mean, I don't need to talk about Final Fantasy VII too much. I'm right now at the point where I have to find Aerith. She's been kidnapped, so that's what I'm doing. Level 13, somewhere around there. So that's what I'm doing, playing Final Fantasy VII. But that's not all I've been doing. You saw the title of the video, you know what this is. I decided to play this, and when I make my way through a good part of the game, I leave this room, going past the library, past the cat sitting around, and I go to the big living room TV to play the Final Fantasy VII Remake on my trusty, dusty PlayStation 4 Slim. So I'm even playing the base model, not even PS5, not even PS4 Pro. This is like the worst you can get for Final Fantasy VII, because I don't play a lot of next-gen games. Like games I play are like the AA style of games, like the JRPGs, Falcom games, the East games, for example, a good example of good-looking games, but not exactly pushing the capabilities of a PlayStation 4 even. So I'm always super impressed when I see even normal PS4 graphics, and this is a beautiful game. Like, this is really great. It comes on 2 discs. As many of you know, there's an installation disc in here that you have to install fully, and then there's a playing disc, and man, it shows. There's so much detail everywhere. You can look around, like at one point, you walk around something like a junkyard, and there's just a tank standing around. I don't think this tank ever reappears anywhere. Actually, in the background, is there a tank in the background? Are you proving me incorrect right now? No, it's like a bulldozer or something in the background. Yeah, I think I saw that tank in the junkyard. There were like 2 tanks. I never saw that tank again. So all of that work went into like making a tank that just stands around in one location and that's it. So that's the kind of attention to detail you get with that. When it comes to story, the remake, I'm not finished with it yet. I'm just running after Tifa. You see the wall market in the background. So the story, as far as I know, covers the entire Midgar section of the PS1 original, which is, I mean, I think I'm like at the tail end of that right now, and I am maybe like 6 hours into the original. Whereas I am like not as far in the remake, and I'm, I think, 11 hours in right now. So you get a lot more detail, a lot more stuff to look at, and I really like that. You can spend a lot more time with a lot of the characters who were more like window dressing background style of characters. For example, like you have the 3 ladies. In the original, it was more like 2 ladies. In the remake, they made 3 ladies out of them. You have a Tifa, like the badass bartender chick who wants to beat everyone up. You have Aerith, who we have here in the background, the flower girl. And then in the original, there was like a gang member, part of your like activist group called Jessie. And in the original, I didn't even know is it supposed to be a man or a woman, and Jessie could be both. In the remake, she was like fleshed out to be a big character, along with Wedge and Biggs, who are 2 other parts of your party there. And I really loved that. And it gives you can spend a lot more time with the characters you already liked from the original, and you can really fall in love with them. What really surprised me is that Tifa is like the most vanilla girl in this one. Like she's the most boring one out of all 3. Then you have Jessie in the beginning, who is like this like great woman where you're never sure if she's playing with your feelings or if she's actually serious. Like I love that dynamic. And then you have Aerith. They did a fantastic job with Aerith in this remake. Of course, everyone knows how it's going to end, but I don't know how you can not be in love with Aerith in this game. Like, she is so much fun to be around, and I really think that they're doing their absolute best to make you fall in love with this girl. And they're doing a good job. Like, it's working for me. And yeah, they're doing a good job. I'm not sure when like this plot twist, I mean, Aerith dies. Everyone knows that. I'm not sure when the plot twist is going to happen, if it happens in this original game here, or if I have to wait for the sequel. At the moment, they originally planned to make 2 games out of it. Now they're up to 3. So, and sadly, the part 2 is, I don't think, coming out on PS4. So I have to get a PS5 if I want to play that. So that may actually be a reason to get one. I've heard rumors that they are planning on releasing a PS5 Slim right now. That's why you can actually find PS5s in stores, and why they are all like on sale constantly all the time, bundled with games, because apparently they're preparing for PS5 Slim, which is fantastic, because the main reason I haven't bought a PS5 yet is I don't have space to put that gigantic spaceship thing anywhere around here. I like small consoles, so I'm waiting for a slim model. So yeah, gameplay style, many people were disappointed that it goes into an action combat thing. It only looks like that on the surface. It's still very much turn-based underneath. You have this, in the original, like you have the ATB bar, it's still present here. But instead of waiting for it to fill up, you can like hack and slash away in the meantime, and the more you attack, the faster it fills up. So yeah, it's a nice mix, and I like it a lot. It's very enjoyable, and I think they did a fantastic balance of trying to find a like good way to transition the original combat into a modern action style. Would I prefer a normal turn-based one? I'm actually not sure. I mean, I have the original if I want a turn-based one. And this one, if I want a more action-based approach. Because I've been playing it like step by step, like playing one part of the original, then playing the same part in the remake, I have a one-to-one comparison of many areas. And they took a lot of out some of the fantastical areas. You saw the like witches horror house enemy in the original earlier. I don't think I've seen that in this game yet. So a lot of the more fantastical elements have been stripped out or at least reduced. But it's been fun to see how they transition some of the enemies. For example, there are these like spider ninja enemies who have a high evasion rate in the original. And in the new one, they're just jumping around and all your attacks miss all the time. So you have to really be careful what to do with that. And I enjoy seeing how they took the concepts of the original, trying to translate them into like a modern era and translating them into a modern style of game. And it's so much fun to see the detail that you could only imagine in the original. I mean, look at the building in the background, all of that. Yes, there are some muddy textures. You can see like the rocks are not really the best. There's the infamous door in Cloud's hotel room. There are some side quests, which I'm not sure why they introduced that. So far I've been in 2 areas that give you side quests, and really those side quests add next to nothing to the game. I think they could have just completely skipped out on those and not have had them. The original Final Fantasy VII, at least in the beginning now, is very linear, and this game is very linear as well. So don't expect like the big overworld to run around in, at least not in this part of the game. But, you know, I enjoy the linear style as well. Yeah, is there much more to say? Oh, like one big negative I have is the side characters. So everyone who's not a main character looks like they came straight out of Life is Strange. And Life is Strange did not have the best character models and the best animations. So there's this gigantic gap between main characters and then you have a person standing there, yeah, it's talking like this, like the mouth weirdly deforming. It's weird. And yeah, they look like I'm constantly reminded of Life is Strange, which was criticized for having like bad character models and not really that polished animations. And I don't think that has any space in a game like this. I'm not sure, like they fixed a lot of the, for example, texture issues in the PS4 port. I'm not sure if they did anything about the character models. I highly doubt it, but I would be interested to check this out. As far as I know, if I put the PS4 version into a PS5, it will give me a free update to try that out. And then you can buy the DLC separately. So I don't need to get the PS5 version just to play the new version. I think I can upgrade this one for free. So, yeah, I highly recommend trying this out if you have not played Final Fantasy VII. This has been a fantastic and interesting way to play these games back to back. I'm not sure what I'm going to do once I finish the remake. Should I continue the original game or wait for part 2 of the remake to come out to do the same thing? I'm not sure what to do. I want to hear your opinion on that. So thank you very much for watching. Have you played Final Fantasy VII? Have you played the remake? If so, what did you think? I'm super impressed. I'm super happy. Like, these are the types of games that I don't think big AAA companies did anymore. You know, when I think about big AAA games, I think of stuff like Assassin's Creed and stuff like that. Not like actual, like I would call this to a certain extent a piece of art. Unlike some other newer games that come out. So this is like, when I play this, I have the impression that there was someone behind it who really had a vision and like wanted to do something instead of creating a product to sell. And if that's not a selling point for you, well, I'm sorry about that. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.